All right, I think we're live here. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hey, Stuart here from Interviews and Offers, Career Accelerator Program. I'm going to try to go live once in a while, maybe even consistently, and talk about some topics that are of utmost importance to job seekers, especially international students. Will I get to where I want to go? Will I, after putting in the couple of years of study, get this thing that I'm here for, which is work experience? And so let's just jump into it. So the first thing I want to just do, and probably the only thing we'll do here this morning, is talk about how to follow up on a job application. So you've probably been applying to jobs online and you probably have not been hearing back. And so people are getting smart about the importance of following up on the job application. Some people, I would say maybe 90% actually still don't do that. And the technology and the convenience of that has really gotten us, like, we've fallen asleep a little bit, thinking that just pressing the button is going to actually result in some sort of opportunity for us or an interview, and it just doesn't work that way. So the key point here to remember, everybody, doesn't matter if you're a recent grad or you're an executive, is that people hire people, not resumes, not GPAs, and not your school pedigree or where you came from, not even physically where you are based today because of the pandemic and COVID. I've had several students that I've worked with who have worked with me on their messaging and they're following up on job applications and have gotten hired into London firms like PricewaterhouseCoopers in London while doing Zoom University in Asia, or getting hired for a job with UBS in New York City while doing Zoom University from Asia because they're temporarily not able to get in the United States. And all of that has to do with following up on your applications and your professional messaging. So number one, it's important to follow up on all the applications that you make. Now, that is a thing that you either accept or don't, and do or do not at the moment, but that's something to start. Now, next we can move into the strategies and the tactics for following up on your applications. So in my program, Get Hired Now, we talk about the strategies to get hired, the tactics, and then I go through the case studies of how you can get hired now. And I'm just going to briefly present some of that material here for you, and you can check in the link below if you want to check out that course. Hopefully it will be helpful to you. It's like almost like nothing to jump in. So like a couple bucks to get your resume seen and get interviews now is probably worth it, but you can make the call for that. So the first thing to do in terms of strategy is to use messaging to follow up. So email, LinkedIn, right? Even phone calling can work. So that is one of the strategies. The next strategy is to be creative, like sending a physical copy of your materials to the company to which you applied, which I know you can't do in every circumstance, but if you do have a dream company, getting a physical copy of your materials mailed is really helpful. And then the third thing is networking. So if you want to get interviews now, well, the way I think about networking is that networking is interviewing. Now, I can unpack that in some other video, but networking for me, the way I teach it, is interviewing. And because you can generate networking meetings on demand, you can generate interviews on demand. Okay, so those are the three strategies for getting interviews now. Now, talking about following up on your application, we want to look at that first strategy of messaging. And specifically, we can look at the tactics, okay, part 2 of this video, the tactics to get your application seen. And so LinkedIn is great. So when you have applied somewhere, you want to follow up on LinkedIn, ideally not so much with the recruiter or HR, but with the actual decision makers in the company. Okay, so the main hiring manager, him, her, they, get your name in front of them. Send a request to connect, and then if they connect, then follow up with a message to ask for a call. And that call is not about an interview. It's about for you to get to meet them. Remember, people hire people, not resumes or GPAs. Okay, so we want to focus on becoming a person to the hiring manager. We want to think about the end goal and then work backwards from the end goal, right? Getting the offer, and then immediately prior, what? Getting that thumbs up from the ultimate decision maker. We want to bring that step to the beginning of the job hunt. So once you've applied, we're going to reach out directly to that decision maker through LinkedIn request to connect. And I can obviously teach more on how to do that. It's actually in my course called Job Offer Messaging, link below. And we want to send a request to connect. And then we want to see if they will get on a call with us because we want to meet them. Remember, people hire people, not resumes or GPAs. Okay, so get to meet them. And of course, there's text and script that you can just copy and paste to send that message as well. The important thing is that you want to do it. And a lot of times, not knowing what your goal is, not knowing what the actual text is what holds us back from sending that message. But if you knew it, you would send it. And you would send it consistently to anywhere where you've been applying online. So just to summarize, we want to follow up on our applications with a LinkedIn request to connect, followed by a request to have a call. At the end of that networking meeting, we can ask about the application and the status and the next steps. But what should come before, ideally, is this conclusion that the hiring manager has gotten to know you and likes you. Because then the final question that you ask will have a different response that way. It will be an affirmative response. So the next thing we can do is we can send emails to people once we've applied to a job. And I generally recommend following the same approach of connecting and then getting on a call rather than just sending your resume over an email where you have kind of reverse engineered the email address. Now, if you're doing none of this right now, if you're not applying, if you're not following up at all, following up with an email with your resume attached is better than nothing, okay? Because in principle, it's fair. They have talent, you are the talent, that's a fair exchange. But ultimately, people hire people, not resumes or GPAs, or school, pedigrees, or location where you're based. So as long as you have a valid visa. So that is why we want to try to get people to connect with us face-to-face, video to video, like I'm doing with you now, and then you can follow up on your application question. So just to summarize here, you want to follow up on your job applications, use LinkedIn, use email. If none of those work, pick up the phone. And again, I have scripts for that in training. Do you want this job? I mean, that's the question. Do you want this job? And are you not excited about meeting new people and strangers in your job hunt? Yes, of course you are. That's one of the most exciting aspects of the job hunt. So bring those relationships up sooner, earlier into your job hunt by following up. Okay, all for now. Thank you for watching. And then links below for the Get Interviews Now, job offer messaging are all right there. And definitely like and subscribe to this so I can share with you cool stuff. And maybe I'll do this on a regular basis. Who knows? Don't want to give myself too much pressure. See you guys later.